Let me tell you a story. We have chosen remote schooling, so our kids are not going to school. So I did a pickup. I went to school to pick up some supplies, and I go over the same path that I used to go over when I would drop my children off in the morning, and now it's completely empty. And I experienced this pang of pain, and I was trying to figure out what just happened. And that's when I realized, it hit me. My heart is pining for that morning routine. When I would drop off my kids, I would see all the teachers, I would see the love that they have in their hearts for our children. And I felt part of a community. So one thing my life coach Joy Perkins taught me was, as we go through life, it is healthy and desirable to go through something known as a transition. Not a change, a transition. Transition is a psychological process which has 3 stages. You have the dying stage, where the old way of being dies, and then you have the creation stage, where the new way of being takes birth. But here's the kicker. In between the destruction and the creation phases, there's this deep trench, a disorienting trench. It's called the liminal phase. And as human beings who crave control and understanding, this is the part that freaks all of us out as we go through a transition, where we have to let go of our old habits. So the first thing to realize is, as we go through a psychological transition, you will go through this liminal phase. You are not the first person to go through it. You will not be the last person. This is part of what it means to be a human. The second thing to remember is, transition causes grief. Even if you're transitioning onto something positive, the heart will pine for and the familiarity of the past, the old way of being. Despite all its warts and all its ugliness, it was familiar. The third thing to remember is, what you need during a time of transition may be very different from what I need. Here's what I can do. I can articulate it to myself, those needs that I can fulfill on my own, I can take care of. Maybe I can go for a walk. I walk in the backyard, it soothes me, Mother Nature soothes me. And there are certain needs that I have which I cannot fulfill by myself, but I can express them to people around me. I can express what kind of support I need from my wife, from my colleagues, at work. In my mind, transition is healthy. It's part of life, it's part of reinvention. And if we did not go through transition, life would be stale and boring, because we'd be stuck at the same level, doing the same old. It would be familiar. We'll have that security blanket, but it might start getting boring. What the heck does any of this have to do with agile enablement? This brings me to the next couple of questions for agile transformation, for agile management. When executives choose to go on the path of agility, they have a misunderstanding that agility will only impact the people, the individual contributors. And sometimes they have a misplaced sense of their own, perhaps, superiority, that they figured it all out. They know what it means to be agile. It's just those idiots, those minions, they need to be fixed. So their perception about agility, their mental model is, I'll bring in an agile coach, he or she will do some agile training, they'll do some stand-ups, and then we will be agile. But it's more like the perspective of a bystander. The players are playing the game on the court, and they will be fixed, and then we'll start winning the game. What they don't realize is, they need to be on the court. And they themselves are likely to be part of the problem. And agility is going to bring a mirror in front of them and show some inconvenient truths about their humanity and what they might be doing or not doing to cause their organization to suck and to lose. Now, remember, executives and management in most companies is accustomed to people sucking up to them. Not because they are the smartest people in the room. If they are, they've got a hiring problem if they're surrounding themselves with nitwits. But they are not the smartest people in the room. And that's good, because nobody has a monopoly on the best ideas. None of us is smarter than all of us. But what these executives have been accustomed to, they get addicted to the feeling of power, of superiority. And I think literature in the industry maybe creates an archetype or a persona of a leader, usually a male leader, who's got it all figured out, who does not show any vulnerability, any weakness, never lets on that he or she might be confused inside, might be anxious. So now introduce Agile Transformation or Agile Enablement. As they go through this transition, they experience tremendous anxiety, fear, because now they are in the liminal phase. So the question to ask Agile management or Agile executives is, who will you be? I want to go through my transition with grace, with dignity, with poise, with kindness. And I want to still be able to look back and say I was true to my values. The next question is, what do you need? Being a leader doesn't mean that you got it all figured out. It's okay to not know. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to lean on people around you. You will make it safe to say, I don't know, something is making me uncomfortable. And that's okay. That's a positive sign. So 2 questions to discuss with your Agile coach as you embark on this journey. Who will we be and what do we need? Co-create and design a working agreement with your Agile coach, and watch out for the signs that the anxiety might be causing you to deviate from who you want it to be, and explore with your coach what you need from your coach and what adjustments might be needed in pursuit of the path to agility. So I hope you found this useful. Until our next conversation, thank you, keep calm and scrum on.